I want to talk to you, though, Sam, about North Melbourne and your good mate James. Our good mate James has been under pressure this week. Has he handled himself well? Has he got any issues that haven't come to surface, Sam? You know him as well as anyone.
Well, he's handled himself very well, that's for a start. So he would be prepared to handle himself well. He would be ready with all the answers when asked the right and hard questions. And coincidentally, I was speaking to Caroline Wilson earlier.
She rang you, Sam?
No, I was speaking to her just face-to-face out the back here. And I said, you're giving my mate a hard time, but just in very jovial terms, because she's entitled to her opinion, and we always say that. You are entitled to your opinion. And I said, but why do you keep giving him a hard time? She said, I don't think he's a very good president. And I said, actually, I didn't ask her why. It's really irrelevant why. But she has it in for him, and I'm not sure why that is. I get the feeling that she... be careful how I say all this. Get the feeling she gets fed... this is what I believe. She gets fed information by the old guard at North Melbourne, and they want to move in a different direction. I'm not sure if they want to move elsewhere in a different direction or have someone in hierarchical positions.
What do you mean the old guard?
Yes, I'd love to know who we're talking about.
How old are we talking?
The previous administration that tasted success in the 70s and have lingered on. I know that's a long while ago.
So Ron Joseph's been outspoken and critical of James this week in the press, suggested he's not the right man, and Ron was on the board, of course, at one stage.
Yeah, I'm a friend of Ron's. Well, I'm an acquaintance. I would call him a friend, but I know he is not James's best ally.
No.
And I suppose all the other people that were associated in those halcyon years, and I'm not sure what it is that they are trying to achieve if they say that James is not the right man to lead them as far as other people could get business into. I mean, don't forget, North Melbourne have never, ever, even in their halcyon years, been a sexy side. No. They have struggled to get sponsorship, even in the days of Wayne Carey, and when they bought a premiership, and I know if Ron's listening to this, he'll jump out of his chair and kick his dog. He's got a dog, which drives me mad. Drives around his car. He can't see out the windows for all the licking that's done on it. The AFL, then VFL, changed the rules to get to North Melbourne a premiership with the 10-year rule. And ever since then, they never were a sexy side even then. And so they do really struggle, as opposed to someone like Collingwood, who just have to knock on someone's door and they are showered with sponsorship offers.
And Damo, you're the member of the media, sort of the genuine print media, if you like, that we haven't all been in. Does personality come into this? Has there been an element of personality attack on James Brayshaw that has contributed to this? Because as the big enforcer later rightfully pointed out last night, I haven't heard one word about the playing group that put out the performance. They seem to have got off scot-free, and every single bit of vitriol, I think Mark Robinson said he's got to change his life.
Yeah,
Caroline Wilson said he's got
Mark
to
Robinson
resign.
said that?
That's what Mark Robinson said on 360. Yeah, he's got to change his life. To answer your question, guys, it does. I mean, human nature dictates and decrees that it does. And
but
just
are we then being too soft because he's a mate of ours?
Well, people will say that we are, but
Gary,
Jim can answer for himself, can't he? But
I
know I know the specifics of this with James, because it was actually in existence at times when I was still there. But I know the way journos think on him, and the two people you mentioned, Caroline Wilson, Mark Robinson, have serious issues, and there's other people who do.
Do you know what? I reckon when you know someone and they're a friend of yours, you go harder at them when you want to ask them a controversy. Well, of course
I know you do. I've been on the end of it regularly.
And we must be close then, Sam. You and I must be very close.
No, Chief, because I think that's just an absolute furphy that because we are friends.
But other people say
that's their cop-out.
Yeah, right.
And Mark Robinson and all these people are good people and socially, but Mark Robinson changed his life. James Brayshaw should change his life. Mark, honestly, go down to Luna Park and get hold of a mirror and see if you can turn yourself into something that looks like a regular person. For God's sake, man. No, I like Mark Robinson, but please, if you're going to fill those shows up with just idle chatter,
there's a lot of idle chatter.
Make sure that some of it is credible. Now, that's just a nonsense. He's a very upstanding and forthright, and if he comes in here, I'll change my tune immediately. But he's a very upstanding, forthright Christian with a small c, spiritual with a small Jim.
Yeah.
Not spiritual as in God,
No.
but honestly,
No,
a fair dinkum. You wouldn't get a more decent figurehead, someone to stick on the front of your boat and point in the direction of Mecca. I don't know, God Almighty. That's a ridiculous thing to say.
He'll be in himself after 7 o'clock, and I'm sure some of these questions will be put to him.
Just ran rampant there, Chief. I'm not sure what I was coming at there.
Thought it was time to interject and move. For someone with a massive media profile as James has got, and he is an under-the-radar president in terms of...
Isn't that a bonus for the club?
Well, I think so, but some people at the same time, Chief, are then saying, well, perhaps you, with your capacity, need to be more of the face of North Melbourne. Is that something that you think is fair, Chief?
Well, look, we've got a precedent for it, though, haven't we? Because Eddie's been president of Collingwood for how long?
Chief.
And he's lived that in the public eye, and he's been criticised at different
no
stages.
Further than your own club, Chief.
And lauded at different stages for what he's brought to the table. So whatever your role is as a president outside of the club, it brings, I think, some positives and perhaps there are some drawbacks, but it depends.
You can find, not you, but anyone can find a situation to suit what they say. I'm not talking about you. Jeff Kennett was criticised because he actually was bigger than the club. He was the face of it. He was giving comments about who should be picked, who should be played. And when you stand back, perhaps like people are accusing Brayshaw of, you could be damned if you do, damned if you don't.